Y'all, the Aquila update in Wizard101 features a brand new spell for every single school. And you already know, your boy's been farming up like crazy. A lot of these spellements that you see right here are from packs, but quite a few of them are also from farming. So today, I thought I'd make a guide, like a one-size-fits-all, whether you have crowns, whether you have a few crowns, a lot of crowns, whether you don't want to pay crowns at all. Basically, the best way to farm these spellements so you can learn them, upgrade them, on every single school. Now, I'm gonna start with what I think is the best option. Even if you have just a few hundred crowns, I've been using this method the most to get my spellements. What you're gonna need a storm, you're gonna need a team of 4, but basically, the best way, in my opinion, with just a few crowns to rack up spellies is to do Tartarus standard mode. So unlike the challenge mode version of this, basically what standard mode is, you don't really have to like be restricted with not using burst heals, not using enchant. Keep in mind that high level enchants like epic don't work, only colossal does, but basically that's the only limitation. All you really need is 3 people to pack a bunch of feints: mass feint, potent feint, and regular feint, and you need a storm that can pack colossal and tempest. And honestly, this dungeon is a breeze. Now, a couple of things to avoid so you don't miss out on spellman drops: make sure you do the Sisyphus quest. You do have to do the Sisyphus quest on every wizard that you want to get drops on. That doesn't take that long, but it's something that if you forget, you do the whole dungeon, that's going to be annoying. The other thing is, when you're doing standard mode, you do have to interact with this scales of knowledge. What I recommend is everyone on the team use this. If you want one person to not get spellman drops, but you want to make it faster, you could go that route. I think it's better when everyone's getting spellman drop. When you apply level scaling, you'll get a 2-hour elixir. You'll probably only need about 20 to 30 minutes of this per run if you do it optimally. And this dungeon, honestly, is a breeze even with level scaled stats. The first 2 fights, the Death Satyr and the Death Minotaur, they're basically 1 turns as long as you have 3 feints and a colossal tempest. After the Death Minotaur, you can actually get a chance to get bonus spellments by intentionally failing the steno puzzle. What you see right here is me literally doing that. So basically, right, you collect the urn pieces and then assemble them in the wrong order, as in interact with any of the urn pieces after you've collected them all other than the first one. It'll auto drag everyone into that fight. This fight drops an additional 4 to 6 Aquila spellements, and it's 1 turnable even with everyone level scaled. You cannot control the turn order with this, so it'll end up probably being a 2-turn, but it's, in my opinion, for such a short fight, such a potentially short fight, it's worth the 5 to 6 spellies. Cerberus is a pretty consistent 2-turn, as in you can ignore the shields and just spam a bunch of blades on your hitter. In 2 simple turns, a colossal temp will kill by quite a bit. And finally, the big bad Tartarus fight at the end. There's a really cool strategy that you could do with Storm and Myth Prisms. Basically, the idea is that you can't single trap Poseidon, but if you have a Storm hitter, you have to Prism him. But if you mass Storm Prism without a Myth Prism, you end up hitting into the resist of Zeus. The best way to deal with this is to Myth Prism Zeus and then mass Prism all of them and then mass feint all of them. If you do this, Tartarus, the very last fight, even with everyone level scaling, becomes a very easy, very consistent 3-turn. I highly recommend packing Cleanse Charm, and if you can help it, some extra stun resist, because these bosses are very annoying with Virulent Plague and stuns, but a 3-turn is pretty simple with this strategy. Now, if you've done all of this, by the end of the dungeon, you probably spent about 30 minutes to get about 20 spellements. But what makes Tartarus super lit is that there's a second chance chest. This is why I highly recommend this approach if you have just a few crowns. So the chest starts at 75 crowns, goes up to 150, and then goes up a little bit more than that. But let's say that you were to spend 400 crowns on one of these packs, right? You would probably get most likely 3 spellments for a school that you probably don't even want. For as little as 75 crowns, this chest drops 16 spellements per roll, and it's not account wide the way the price goes up. But let's say that I finished the whole dungeon on my life. As long as my team is down for it, I could switch wizards, they could switch 2 with me, and you could do an entire extra run and get 3 more rolls or 4 more rolls. I've been doing 3 at a time, and the price once again starts at 75 crowns. If you do this on a bunch of wizards, you probably could spend maybe 1,000 to 2,000 crowns a night, but you would probably get hundreds and hundreds of spellments. The math, if you do 3 chest rolls, is about 70 to 80 spellments per run and about 400 crowns. And since you'll end up actually farming Steno and Hades a lot, you also get a chance at getting the new Skeleturian pet. So you get the added bonus of getting some cool exclusive pets. You'll probably end up with these pretty naturally if you do this method over a long period of time. Now, that being said, right, that does still involve some crowns. If you're looking at a completely free and no extra questions asked drop rate of these spellements, like you don't have to open a chest, you don't have to do any of that, then your best bet is still the Sisyphus fight. Right, even during test run, people were saying, yeah, this is gonna be the main way to farm. The one thing to keep in mind is it's better to farm the challenge mode version of this because he has less HP, and the cheat still prevents you from killing in any seriously significant, like, less amount of time by doing standard. But this should be, with the full team, a 4 to 5 turn. All you really have to do, because he has a bubble limiting damage, is wand hit the first couple of turns, do a 2 to 3 pip hit the third and fourth turn, and if he's still alive, just do the biggest hit that you have left on the 5th turn. He'll always die if everyone hits like that. He also gives you hits to use, so even deck failing is really hard. But in my opinion, right, each of these runs, it'll take maybe 4 to 5 minutes, and you're getting around 4 to 5 spellements. You're basically getting like double or triple that if you just hit a few chests at the end of Tartarus for doing the full standard mode. The only other way to get these spellements is to open this pack. Now, here's the deal. This pack, it's very, very weird. Most of these packs, when you open them, what you'll notice, you'll get around 3 spellements. So as you guys can see from the text box, this is actually a good pack. I got 6 Jupiter's Might. This is actually more than I would have expected. But for those same 400 crowns, I could have easily hit 2 chests, saved a few crowns, and gotten way more than this no matter what, as long as I did it at the end of standard mode. That's why, in my opinion, because of just how much better the bang for your buck is over a small period of time, even, like if you're willing to put it in, that's why I recommend standard mode. I think a lot of people do have a few crowns lying around, or they're willing to do it to save time, but I don't recommend the pack over the second chance chest, especially if you have a lot of wizards. Now, you might be wondering, is there any reason to actually do the challenge mode for the main dungeons? This is something that I think Wiz is still trying to figure out, right? Let's say that you do Mount Olympus standard mode. You can just spam a bunch of AoEs. It takes about maybe 5 to 10 minutes to get to the end. If you do the challenge mode version of this, no enchants allowed, traditional AoEs not allowed, meaning you have to like do the selective targeting that we have now, right? No burst heals. This takes about 30 to 40 minutes for basically the same spellments at the end. That being said, let's say that you were to do the challenge mode, right? I happen to do this on my life one time. If you were to do it, you do get a gold key for every single challenge mode dungeon that you do. If you do a bunch of these runs, you can actually unlock badges that unlock recipes here where you can get some really cool cosmetics. And as recently as the end of last week, on Kai Live, the devs speculated that they might have to make badge rewards that also drop spellements. So I don't know when that's gonna happen, but if there's ever a reason to do challenge mode, it might be for that if you want to have another really, really free way in the future to redeem spellements. I think it is on the table that we might be able to learn and even upgrade spellements if you fully interact with challenge mode. That being said, that feature is not in the game. That was just brought up in CAD Live like last week. We don't know when that would make it into the game, but I thought I would include that because I think otherwise there's no real reason to do challenge mode more than once for the gold key or maybe a few times for the cosmetics. But there are probably going to be impending spellment drops using challenge mode as well. There should be more drops in general with all of these in a future update if y'all want to wait. But at the moment, what I covered in this video, best way to get spellments at any level of crowns that you have. Let me know if y'all found this helpful. This is basically what I've been doing. I've been kind of no-lifing it, but I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Some of these spells, they're really, really good in PvE and PvP. They're really, really good high pit, high value hits. They open up new identities, new utilities for schools, like a triple detonate and stuff for life. Like, this is like literally crazy. So I think it is worth at least learning and upgrading once. So hopefully this video is helpful for the people that want to interact with these spells that otherwise felt they were inaccessible. Let me know if y'all have other methods that you have found, maybe something that's actually better than this, especially, you know, if you have maybe less wizards, maybe if you have less crowns. I'm all ears. Let's help each other. And let me know what y'all's favorite Aquila spell is in the comments as well. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Leave a sub if you're new. And as always, if somebody hasn't told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. Stay awesome, y'all. See y'all soon. And yeah, y'all.